Okay. Peace and shalom, family. Peace and shalom. What's going on? Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it as always. We are back. It's your brother DivineProspect, representing Kingdom Harbinger Ministries. And we are about to get started. So I'm gonna give a few more minutes for more people to come on in. A few more minutes for a couple more people to come on in. We're going to get started. Go ahead and share this link everywhere on all social media platforms. Let's go ahead and irritate the YouTube algorithm so we can start posting this video on people's video feeds and harassing them to watch the content that is here. All right. I know y'all missed me last weekend. I understand. I was on Clubhouse. We did a KHM session on Clubhouse. That's up on the Patreon if anybody's interested in taking a look at that. So if you are subscribed to the Patreon, you should be able to go and take a look at that. We actually have 6 updates on the Patreon that I did earlier today. So again, if you're not subscribed to the Patreon, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to continue to get live streams here, content here and there, but Patreon is where it's at. You know what I'm saying? So I truly appreciate everybody's support of the ministry. Nothing goes overlooked, unnoticed. We appreciate everybody that has supported us from day one all the way until now. And those who just got on, I know a couple of people reached out to me in the past couple of weeks who are brand new to this channel, and just was grateful to have bumped into this channel and the content that we have here. So I'm grateful for that. And they said they made a lot of great people in the chat, you know what I'm saying? Because we have a pretty high standard in the chat, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of quality people in the chat. And even the conversations going there is equally as interesting and attractive as the conversation that comes forth through this video screen. All right. So we're going to wait again. If you guys are brand new here, hit that subscribe button. All right. If you're enjoying the content, hit the thumbs up button, smash the thumbs up button, kick it, punch it, do a elbow smash on it. You know what I'm saying? Leg drop it, whatever the case may be. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you're brand new, and go ahead and share this video everywhere. All right. Right now, I think we got started about 11:45. All right. So we're going to try to do a 2-hour show, if that, maybe hour and a half. You know, I say it all the time when we go over, but I definitely don't want to go too much over 2 hours. A couple of things I have to work on after the show is over, but I do want to give y'all a quality show, give you enough content just in case if I don't make it next weekend, which I should. All right. We try to stay live 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or around that time every Friday. And next year, working on pushing it earlier because I know we're getting a lot of requests for that. So I'm going to try to do a 9:30 show. That would be great if I can get 9:30. That's the goal. But I'm not going to be too ambitious. Okay. I'm going to raise it maybe about to 10:30 and then 10 and then stop at about 9:30. I think I can get it at 9:30. We'll see. Keep me in prayer. Keep your brother in prayer about that. I'm going to try to do that. All right. But always behind the scenes, man, we put in the work. We're getting things done. And I do appreciate the Most High for allowing us to be able to share this content with you guys without getting shut down. Because you already know how YouTube is savage. Man, savage, man. There's a lot of trolls out there that be hating on this channel, but they be here all the time. Even when they don't say nothing in the chat, they here. So thank you, trolls, for contributing to the viewership of this channel. We appreciate that. All right. And getting chin checked every time you tried to come in here and muscle your way through the chat or try to get some information or some words across to me. You already know how we get down over here. All right. Okay. And as always, we always keep the link on deck in case somebody wants smoke, but we always give you the Surgeon General's warning. All right. Don't forget that. All right. So let me go ahead and give a couple of shout outs for people who just now coming on. All right. Let's see. So I want to say peace and shalom to Chosen One, Yahusef Ben Yisrael. What's going on? Sister Yvette Rivera. What's going on, sis? We will be reaching out to you next week to kind of talk with you, keep you encouraged. Please keep my sister in prayer, y'all, if you're watching this, and provide her your support if you don't mind. Lift her up in prayer. Okay. Shout out to Dita Star Loves Ya, Alexander McCaskill, J Rod in the building, Lisa Anderson, Jaslyn Berry, HaKodesh Management. I see you. Nahum Yisrael, Shalom. My brother Yehuda Yisrael, Shalom. Ya Son, Shalom. 876 Ben Yamin Yisrael, Shalom. Hebrew for Life, Shalom. Leon Farlow, John and Dorsey, Shalom. King Hokma Cafe, Shalom. Apothecary Custom, Shalom. Linda Rick, Shalom. Wanda Lee, Shalom. Sister Asantuan in building, Shalom. Shalom. Kia Williams, what's going on? Shalom. Karima Lyricist, Shalom. Emmanuel LAE in the building, Shalom. Kevin Powell, I see you, Shalom. Navia Yasha El, Shalom. I got your message, sis. So just email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com and we'll take care of it. I'm actually going to mention that in the few, so just hang tight, all right? Sister V Love, Shalom. D Ranking, Shalom. What's going on? My brother James, aka Get Wise, Shalom. Elder Gurney Mosley in the building, Shalom. Yeti Hebrew Dre, what's going on, King? Bishop Marcial, Shalom. Do it for the nation. What's going on? We just got started around 11:45, my brother, so you ain't missed nothing. All right, we're about to get it popping shortly. All right, shout out to legendary Top Cats in the building, Ink Pen 27, Shalom. Natural Beginnings, Shalom, Shalom. Rumi Dia, Shalom, Shalom. Let me see, is that everybody? I think that's everybody. So hit one if the audio and video is good. Hit one if the audio and video is good. I'm on my Wi-Fi, and typically sometimes around this time before my house gets settled, everybody is pulling on the router, pulling data down. So sometimes they may be skipped. So what I did was I dumbed the definition or resolution down from 1080 to 720p. So don't freak out if you see a noticeable drop in resolution, because looking at 720p on a 4K TV may look a little bit crazy. But that's until we upgrade the router. I have a pretty decent router. Matter of fact, to show it to you so you see what it looks like. This is it right here. This is it right here. All right. Pretty decent router. This is like something from outer space, right? Look at that. Looks like some Transformers type joint. Pretty decent router. But you know, I'm into tech. I'm into IT. But I'm gonna work on getting a better router. I can't do much about the internet. I got the highest that I can get from Comcast. I want to Google Fiber again, but you know, it is what it is. But for now, in case you do see a noticeable drop in resolution, it's because it's streaming at 720, so we can keep things much smoothly, less stuttering, hiccups, etc. All right. So let me see. All right, so you're saying everything is good? Okay, cool. If you want to shout out, hit 2. If I missed you, you need a shout out, hit 2. Shout out to Nicholas Gonzalez. Shalom, I see you. Let me see. Anybody else I miss? I think I got everybody, right? My brother Seth Upright, Shalom. Andre Waver, Shalom. I got your email, my brother. So I'm going to do my best to work on that and get that back out to you, okay? All right. Let me see. I think that's everybody. Like I said, hit 2. If I missed you, you want to shout out. Make sure you guys are sharing this video. Hit the thumbs up as you're coming on in. Shout out to G Knock in the building. I see you. What's going on, G Lock? G Knock, J Lock, J Lockhart 25. Shalom. I see you. Let me see. I think that's everybody. Okay. All right. So until we get loaded up, let's go ahead and start out with some interesting news. Want to show you some interesting news. Yo, y'all know we be on top of this COVID-19 news, man, because they feeding it down our throat every day, man. Wow. Every day. This is not fear mongering. I don't know what is. I mean, it would be great if they had a whole bunch of shows talking about health and wellness and dietary decisions and supplementation, exercise, and I mean, man, eating fruits and vegetables, and you know what I'm saying? Like, tell you about nutritional food facts on the back of your food items, and looking at the label and understanding what these nutrition facts are. What is calories? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just waiting for them to take some time to do that and then go and prioritize other diseases, because it seems like every other disease went into hiding. Big bad COVID came out. Everybody's into hiding. Everybody's in hiding. That's crazy. That's how you know COVID is the OG, man. Just muscled everybody. Say, yo, keep it quiet, man. This is my time to shine, homie. Fall back. Flu, I said fall back. Cancer, I said fall back. Never mind, more people are dying from cancer than this. Doesn't matter. Fall back. All right. Don't worry about us getting people to get free vaccines when there's other immunotherapies we can give out to people with cancer and more of them. Don't worry about that. I'm here. Sitting right in his throne, lovely in his throne like this. COVID is king right now. Hence why Corona, Latin for crown. Yeah, coronavirus is king right now. Ain't nobody touching him. He's an OG. Calling shot call, all of that. Yeah, yo, shut up. Hypertension, shut up. I don't want to hear you no more. All right? End stage renal disease, be quiet. Don't want to hear it no more, man. Diabetes, hey, what did I say back there, man? What did I say? Keep it quiet. All right? It's my show. Shout out to O'Shea White in the building. Shalom, sister. I am Sister Hadashah. Shalom. I see you. Let me see. Jay Fearson. What's going on, King? Shalom. Let me see. Danielle Williams. Shalom. Shalom. Let me see. Okay, I think I got everybody. All right, cool. Cool. All right. All right. Just saying, yo. Just saying. Tons of other diseases killing people out here. But COVID-19 is the star of the show. This is something else, man. Something else. But you know, and I'm trying to figure out what happened to AIDS. Did HIV and AIDS disappear too? I'm just saying, did it disappear? Seems like people stopped catching that once COVID came out. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, man. Shout out to Sister Janelle in the building. I see you, Shalom. Sister Nisi's Pieces, what's going on? What's going on? Miss B, Shabbat Shalom. All right. Jay Fearson, exactly. How do I know? Because I know some medical practitioners, RNs, MDs, NDs that share that information with me. And I'm not going to disclose their name or their practice or anything like that because they did so in private, anonymously, but that's what they've shared with me. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. But yeah, that seems to be the case, man. Shout out to Truth Seeker in the building. I see you. All right. So without further ado, apparently they say that unvaccinated people are a public health hazard and that they are the vectors of this disease, transferring it to those who are vaccinated and killing people who are vaccinated. But I want to show you something. I just want to show you something. All right. There's been a lot of news about the Omicron variant of concern. Okay. But I wonder, right now, Omicron is in the US. It got here from South Africa to California. And I wonder who's the person who brought it here. Maybe it's one of you unvaccinated people, you know, because y'all are the vectors of disease. But wait, let's see who brought that variant of concern here. I want to see. Oh, no, Germany is, let me show you what Germany's doing right now, man. Oh, no, Germany, you talking about Austria? I'm going to show you what Germany is doing, man. Germany just got gangster. I'm going to show it to y'all, man. Check it out. Germany is, I don't know what's going on over there, man. Check it out. Germany on Thursday announced a nationwide lockdown for the unvaccinated as its leaders back plans for mandatory vaccinations in the coming months. Unvaccinated people will be banned from accessing all but the most essential businesses such as supermarkets and pharmacies to curb the spread of coronavirus. Outgoing Chancellor Angela Merkel and her successor Olaf Scholz, announced Thursday following crisis talks with regional leaders. Those who have recently recovered from COVID-19 are not covered by the ban. So wait, I just go get COVID and I'm cool? Is that what you're saying? So for the unvaccinated person to have some liberties to move around in Germany, all you got to do is catch COVID, survive it, get the antibodies, and now the ban does not apply to you. Why would they put that loophole in there? I don't know. But let's keep going. The pair also backed proposals for mandatory vaccinations, which, if voted through the parliament, could take effect from February at the earliest. Under the tightened restrictions, unvaccinated people can only meet 2 people from another household, Bars and nightclubs must shut down in areas with an incidence rate above 350 cases per 100,000 people over 1 week. And the country will limit the number of people at large events like soccer matches. Okay? The announcement comes as Germany battles a surge in cases that has pushed Europe back to the epicenter of the pandemic, heightening fears over the slowly discovered Omicron variant. The press briefing is also Merkel's last before she leaves office, a grim note to the end of her 16 years as German chancellor. Let's see how this pans out. This is very interesting. I told you this is the new class system, vaccinated and unvaccinated. And if you realize statistically, that I showed you the other day, most of the people or the ethnic group or demographic that is the least vaccinated in America are people of color, more particularly so-called African Americans and Black people. So, same thing with the war on drugs, same thing with this war on HIV, AIDS, same thing with the war on terror. It's discernment. When you got discernment, you can see these things. You know what the totalitarian tiptoe is? Let me show you what that is. I'll show you what that is. All right, let's get a definition of this. The totalitarian tiptoe is the world domination method of slow encroachment on civil liberties and freedoms used by a small few that want to control the world or a particular nation. It involves small, easily accepted, and less noticeable steps to achieve a pre-desired endpoint that would otherwise be totally discarded by the general populace of the world if openly presented. The favorite modus operandi of those that plan a totalitarian tiptoe is the problem, reaction, solution formula, or the Hegelian dialectic. One theory about the totalitarian tiptoe is that that its inevitable endpoint is that of a unified fascist world government to stomp out national sovereignty in the name of peace, a world bank to control the world's nations economically and cripple their independence by forcing them to use a centrally controlled world currency policed by a world army and a population of mind control servants. Did you hear that? Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, coronavirus. Reaction, oh my God, you're going to die. Solution, get this vaccine, and the boosters, and new vaccines that are coming out specifically for Omicron. Biden administration is pushing for new vaccines. So you're going to perpetually be vaccinated, just like the flu and other quote unquote vaccinations for other things as well. This is not going away. You will forever be vaccinated going forward. It's not going to stop because these variants of concern will continuously come out. There's no end game to this. As far as it stopping and things, there's no thing as it going back to the old normal. It's only the new normal. Get used to it. Things are coming to an apex or a climax very soon. The key thing is, are you prepared for it? See, that's why what we teach here about autonomy, we reconstruct and restore culture, use that as a paradigm to repair the community and bring them closer together with the village-like mindset. And from there, we usher in self-governance over our own social affairs, create our own resources so we can provide for our own and wait out these judgments. It's only a matter of time. Okay? So when you understand the totalitarian tiptoe and how that operates, it's what they call the modus operandi you can start to see what's going on. This ain't no conspiracy theory. You can see what's going on. Like Zeph says, the Great Reset. And people will continuously be vaccinated. So again, if you choose to get vaccinated, I'm not against that. Remember, I tell you, I'm only against the encroachment of my civil liberties at the expense of a disease, COVID-19, that has a high recovery rate and a low morbidity rate. And you are going to mandate that on me instead of all these other immunotherapies and solutions that are novel out there for all the other ailments and diseases that are killing people more rapidly than COVID-19. I'd rather you mandate me to get something that's going to prevent cancer or diabetes or congenital heart failure. Can I get something for that? For free? No? I can't do that? Oh, okay. I see. I understand. All right. I see how it is. Like I said, big bad COVID is on his throne, so none of these other things matter. Okay. So anyway, so we see what's going on. Those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, we see and we know what's going on. Right? So the preparation must take place. And that's why we are moving things along here at KHM so we can take care of business and prepare our people. Because Yah's coming soon. His kingdom is going to be here soon. How is it going to appear to us? I'm not sure. The thing is, I'm going to be busy, so I ain't got to spend all my time worrying about when it's coming. Because I'm going to be so busy that when it happens, I'm already going to be right in alignment with, oh, it's here already. Okay, cool. We was already doing A, B, and C, but now let's move into it. But in the interim, we see these signs. We see it. And we got to prepare for it. So KHM is one entity that is preparing our community for these trying times that's about to come up. But rejoice. Don't be sad. Don't get depressed. Rejoice, for your redemption is nigh. Okay. All right. We're not waiting for no rapture. We got to go through it. Nobody's going nowhere until God's finished judging. Then he'll exit you up out of here. You understand? So you gotta sit tight, right? Prepare, weather the storm. And when it's over, you look up, he's going to restore us back into the land. All praise to the Most High. This is for his glory. Okay. All right. With that being said, I want to find out who brought this variant of concern, this Omicron variant, to the U.S. Was it an unvaccinated person? Wonder who did this. Let's take a look. Hold on. We're going to take a look. We're going to see who did this. Here we go. Hopefully they don't flag this video. Because I already know how they get down. They ruthless.
The California and San Francisco Departments of Public Health and the CDC have confirmed that a recent case of COVID-19 among an individual in California was caused by the Omicron variant. Genomic sequencing was conducted at the University of California at San Francisco, and the sequence was confirmed at the CDC as being consistent with the Omicron variant. So I know there are a lot of questions, but here's what we know right now. The individual was a traveler who returned from South Africa on November 22nd and tested positive on November 29th. The individual is self-quarantined, and all close contacts have been contacted, and all close contacts thus far have tested negative. The individual was fully vaccinated and experienced mild symptoms, which are improving at this point. So this is the first confirmed case of COVID-19 caused by the Omicron variant detected in the United States.
So, Mr. Fauci himself just told y'all that the individual, hold up now, that the individual who brought this Omicron variant of concern to the U.S. was fully vaccinated. And they also had mild symptoms. So they was not asymptomatic. They actually had symptoms. How severe those symptoms are, we will never know, because guess what? We are not going to be able to get the medical records of this individual. And they never mentioned their name. Obviously, they're not going to do that. But the key thing is this. And a fully vaccinated person brought a variant of concern to the U.S. that is perpetually deadly to those of us who are unvaccinated. Now, remember, I asked, show me the statistics where unvaccinated people are transmitting the virus to vaccinated people and causing a high death rate by means of transmission from unvaccinated to vaccinated. Show me those stats. They cannot produce those stats because the moment they produce it, guess what? You lose people in regards to the faith and hope that they have in vaccinations. So, of course, they're not going to produce that. But yet, unvaccinated person, you are deadly. You're killing people. But yet, it was a fully vaccinated person that brought Omicron here to the U.S. Now, my life is in danger. My life is in danger because of a vaccinated person. My life is in danger. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Hold on. Wait. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Maybe the booster shots can help us. Maybe there's some efficacy in the booster shots. Y'all have faith in the booster shots, right? All right, cool. Let's take a look. Come on, Fauci. Let's go.
And as all of you know, because we've been discussing this, we knew that it was just a matter of time before the first case of Omicron would be detected in the United States. And as you know, we know, I've been saying it, and my colleagues on the medical team and others have been saying it. We know what we need to do to protect people. Get vaccinated. If you're not already vaccinated, get boosted. If you've been vaccinated for more than 6 months with an mRNA or 2 months with J&J, and all the other things we've been talking about getting your children vaccinated, masking, and
So, what is the takeaway? Vaccinate everything. Vaccinate yourself. Vaccinate your spouse. Vaccinate your kids. Vaccinate your house. Vaccinate your car. Vaccinate your pet. Go to work and vaccinate everything. That's the solution. Ain't nothing else. You vaccinate everything. Okay? Everything gets vaccinated. Your clothes, okay, your shoes, your computer, this keyboard, vaccinate everything. I'm just saying. It's my Olipop right here. I'll put y'all onto this in a second. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right? Let's keep going. Vaccinate everything. All right? Vaccinate the trees. Vaccinate your backyard, okay? Vaccinate any animals you see in the street. Vaccinate everything. That's it. Oh, and after you vaccinate, then you get the boosters. All right? Make sure everything is vaccinated and boosted. Let's keep going. Hold on. Let's keep going. Oh, leave me alone, mail. Fall back. It's my mail notification. It's email notification. It's crazy. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Come on, Fauci. Let's go.
Indoor congregate settings, etc. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to call him.
And as you know, we know, I've been saying it, and my colleagues on the medical team and others have been saying it. We know what we need to do to protect people. Get vaccinated. If you're not already vaccinated, get boosted. If you've been vaccinated for more than 6 months with an mRNA or 2 months with J&J, and all the other things we've been talking about getting your children vaccinated, masking in indoor congregate settings, etc. Individuals, not only who are confirmed, but individuals who are probables, which means they are going to have a lot of experience, which we will benefit protection from things like monoclonal antibodies, whether or not this will know a lot about transmissibility, about whether or not it essentially eludes some of the protection from things like monoclonal antibodies, whether or not the disease itself in general is going to be severe, and what is the difference in an individual who's been vaccinated versus unvaccinated, boosted versus not boosted. We're going to get that information. So again, I appreciate your question about one individual, but we're going to get a lot more information.
Thanks, Dr. Falcon. Two questions for you. One, you said this person had been fully vaccinated. Had they had a booster shot yet?
To my knowledge.
Now, pay attention to this, please.
But you know, Caitlin.
Okay. And under consideration, the CDC is considering having stricter testing requirements to get into the United States, a 24-hour window before taking off, but also is considering having a period of retesting once you get back to the United States. Would that have helped in this case if that was already in place?
You know, I'm not so sure because this person, did what we hope other people would do. They got off, and as soon as they became symptomatic, they went and got tested, and it was positive.
And so when do you think those new requirements when it comes to travelers are actually going to be implemented, given
New
this
requirements.
is something that is already affecting the United States?
Well, that's obviously all things that are being considered in another discussion, Caitlin. I don't think I can make any real statement about when and if that's going to happen.
Thank you. Dr. Fauci, in addition to any new testing requirements, what about new requirements for self-quarantining for travelers returning to the U.S., which in this case, can you help us understand why the travel ban is effective right now for those particular 8 countries, especially when
So 8 countries is a travel ban.
and Omicron's been detected in other countries, including right here in the U.S.?
Well, if you go back and look at when we first found out about these cases that were emerging in South Africa, no one feels, I certainly don't, that a travel ban is going to prevent people who are infected from coming to the United States. But we need to prepare for it. So we look at this as a temporary measure. People in this country who are not vaccinated or eligible
this week and said that that had not yet been recommended to him.
All right, listen to this too. So one was the travel ban. Check this one out.
Thank you. Dr. Fauci, do you support a vaccine requirement for domestic flights? The president was asked about this earlier this week and said that that had not yet been recommended to him. You're his chief medical advisor. Do you think that's something the country should adopt?
You know, I'm not so sure we should say that would be a requirement. I would say what I've been saying all along, that we have 60 million people in this country who are not vaccinated or are eligible to be vaccinated. Let's get them vaccinated. Let's get the people who are vaccinated boosted. Let's
Wait, 60 million people who are not vaccinated and not eligible to be vaccinated, vaccinate them anyway. Especially the ones who are ineligible. Doesn't matter if you have an autoimmune disease. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you have severe allergies and you can get anaphylactic shock. Doesn't matter. Vaccinate everything. You understand? Don't think about no monoclonal antibodies getting put through you via IV. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about this new pill that they have that you can take if you're symptomatic to deduce or minimize the symptoms and the duration of the infection. Forget that. Forget eating healthy. Forget all the other things that we can get to actually build ourselves up in other alternatives. It doesn't matter. Vaccinate everything. Doesn't matter if it encroaches upon your civil liberties. I don't care. Vaccinate.
get the children vaccinated. That's where we want to go as opposed to a requirement.
That's where we want to go. Forget the requirements about domestic flights and all of that. We want to get the children vaccinated. That's all that matters.
Some people say that, you have extinguished many of your options to, get those people vaccinated. This is one of the ways as the OSHA mandate is held up in court. This would maybe be a way to push more people to get vaccinated.
That's a possibility, but I think for the people who are listening to this, we again talk about why it's important to get vaccinated. I think what's happening now is another example of why it's important for people to get vaccinated who've not been vaccinated, but also boosting. Boosting is really very important.
Listen to this.
Because the data that we get on boosting, if you look at the level, for example, of an antibody, a neutralizing antibody, peak following the second dose of a 2-dose mRNA, it's like at this level. If you look at the peak following the third shot boost, it goes way up here. And people ask, why is that important? Because our experience with variants, such as the Delta variant, is that even though the vaccine isn't specifically targeted to the Delta variant, when you get a high enough level of an immune response, you get spillover protection even against a variant that the vaccine wasn't specifically directed at. And that's the reason why we feel, even though we don't have a lot of data on.
Even though we don't have a lot of data on what? So wait, all these billions of dollars are going out and you still don't have enough data? I don't understand what's going on. See, I feel very uncertain to go and do something when there's not a lot of data. There's not a lot of data. You hear all the time, get vaccinated, get vaccinated. That's the best shit. Then they're like, there's not a lot of data. There's not a lot of data. There's not a lot of data. Wait, hold on. So you need me to use, I ain't gonna say as a guinea pig, but experientially, so that way you can see if you have enough data to see whether or not that. Come on, bro. Come on. You don't have enough data? What are all these scientists doing with all these billions of dollars? You don't have enough data? Give me $1 billion. I will get you results. That's it. Just if you listen, Fauci, White House, whoever, St. John's, whatever, send me $1 billion and I will get you data. Trust me, all I need is 90 days. I'll get you all the data you need.
Specifically directed at. And that's the reason why we feel, even though we don't have a lot of data on it.
You just say it again. We don't have a lot of data.
There's every reason to believe that that kind of...
So it's a belief. Oh, okay. So we don't have a lot of data, but listen to what I'm saying. I'm giving you enough information, even though we don't have the data, to believe. So about faith now. Okay, so we left the realm of science, not completely, but we've added a whole degree of faith on there. Okay, cool.
Increase that you get with the boost would be helpful, at least in preventing severe disease of a variant like Omicron.
Dr. Fauci, as you know, a lot of Americans right now are shopping for the best sort of booster or whatever they can get. And given the fact that manufacturers and scientists are racing to learn more about this variant and then to modify a vaccine that will more directly combat it right now, first, for those who already received their boost, how long would it be for them before conceivably they could have a new modified booster that will more directly...
So after they got the boost, a new modified boost on top of that boost that you got in conjunction with the 2 other shots that you got. It's not going to stop. I'm telling y'all, this is going to go forever. 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 Wow. Well, now remember, we don't have a lot of data, but we believe. Listen, this is what he's saying. We don't have a lot of data, but we believe. Okay. All right. We're almost done with this. Let's keep going.
Target this. And is there any reason those individuals should wait, given the White House has said it'll be a couple of months perhaps before we have a more modified vaccine more directly targeted?
So we gotta wait. Now you already got your 2 shots, you got your booster. There's a modified booster that we should get, or wait for a new vaccine for that specific variant. So what that says to those who's paying attention is that every time a variant concern rises up, because you have X amount of mutations on the S protein, the spike protein, right? That is the main concern because that's how the mRNA vaccine works, right? So when you have all these mutations that are happening on the spike protein, right? Because remember, it's made up of 4 major proteins. That spike protein, it allows the virus to evade antibody, and antibodies are designed to stick, a little Y-shaped protein that sticks to the virus, neutralizes it, and calls attention to white blood cells to the site and gobble up and eat up the actual virus, right? I'm just trying to simplify without being too technical, right? So every time you have X amount of mutations that becomes a variant concern, they're going to create a vaccine for each one.
Great question, because we get asked.
He says, great question. So just keep that in mind. So next year, if we get 7 new variants of concerns, then potentially they could create 7 new vaccines. Because here's the thing, this mRNA vaccine, it was supposed to give you full spectrum protection, not only from the initial variants that we got from coronavirus, but future ones as well. But obviously, if you got to get boosters and they're going to create another vaccine for a variant, then what was so awe-inspiring about this new mRNA vaccine? I'm just saying. I'm just asking questions. I'm not against vaccines. I'm not. I'm just asking questions. Okay, let's let him finish talking. Go ahead, Fauci.
Asked it a lot, and it's a relevant question. So right now, I would not be waiting. People say, well, if we're going to have a booster-specific vaccine, should we wait? If you are eligible, namely 6 months with a double mRNA dose or 2 months with the J&J, get boosted now. We may not need a variant-specific boost. We're preparing.
We may not need it, but listen, we're preparing
for the possibility that we need a variant-specific boost. And that's what the companies are doing. We have been the administration has been in contact with the pharmaceutical companies to go ahead and take the steps in case we need it. But the mistake people would make is to say, let me wait and see if we get one. If you're eligible.
Yeah. Why would you want to wait and see? Doesn't matter if we don't have enough data. Don't wait and see. Get shot now. Oh, wait. Hold on. We're gonna pull something up as well. I just want to make sure you're, I want y'all to see something too. Okay? We're gonna get into that. We're gonna see how far this rabbit hole goes.
Eligible for boosting, get boosted right now.
Get boosted right now, man.
Thank you, Dr. Fauci. Follow up to Tyler's question, because there is screening in place for international travel, but we see how quickly variants can spread once they reach our shores. Does the science not suggest that there should at a minimum be a testing requirement for domestic air travel? And if not, why not?
Well, again, these kinds of things we always talk about and consider, but right now, I'm not so sure we need a testing for air travel in this country. I always get back to the fact is that people should wind up getting vaccinated and boosted if they're eligible for a boost.
I don't care about you getting tested. That's what he's saying. Get vaccinated and then get boosted. And we want the kids. We want your kids. Doesn't matter if we have enough data. Give us the kids and vaccinate them. I don't care about tests. What are you talking about tests? Just vaccinate.
Back to that because that's really the solution to this problem.
That's the solution. Doesn't matter if we don't have enough data to say yay or nay. Does not matter. We do have a long history of vaccinations and their efficacy. But when it comes to this, doesn't matter if we have enough data or not. Remember, the J&J vaccine is more traditional. The mRNA by Pfizer, Moderna is more, I'm not going to say experiential. I'm not going to say that. But it has not been properly tried and tested like the J&J version of vaccination. So I'm being fair.
Two quick ones. Moderna executive has said in the past couple of days that this variant appears threatening and may demand new vaccines. What do you?
So wait. Look at this. So you got to understand, family. Look, remember I told y'all, and this is to the pharmaceutical companies. If you guys really care about the welfare of people, become a nonprofit organization and do your vaccinations that way, your vaccines that way. I think that would be a great way to see, for people to see as far as your PR image to the public, to say, wow, these guys really care about us. But you got to keep an eye on the stock market and see the fluctuation in their stocks when these things happen. So the first thing that comes to mind with a CEO is, oh man, money. We got a benefit of money. How can we please our shareholders? Right? Let's take a look. Listen. So he said all of this, right? But let's see what Moderna, let me see. The Moderna executive, listen to this, family.
Have said in the past couple of days that this variant appears threatening and may demand new vaccines. What do you make?
It appears threatening and may demand new vaccines. And remember what Fauci just said previous. This is the CEO of Moderna. Listen.
Of those remarks that seem a lot more alarmist than the administration's view or other vaccine makers.
Well, I know that we don't have enough information right now.
We don't have enough information. Doesn't matter if Moderna and their executives want to come out with a new vaccine. We don't have enough information. I'm going to stop here. That's enough. Okay. At the end of the day, okay, we don't have enough information. We don't have enough data. We just believe that this will work. Vaccinate everything. Vaccinate everything. Okay? Anything moving, vaccinate it. Yo, I know my brothers and sisters in here that got vaccinated. They feeling crazy right now, but this is nothing personal against y'all. Nothing personal against y'all. We just see for what it is. Let's get some more data. Again, I know people in here or who watches may feel a little kind of way because we always bring up COVID-19. Why not? COVID-19 is on the TV every day. It's in the news every day. It's on social media every day. Every day. It's there every day. Every day. There's nothing I can see in any kind of media where I'm not exposed to COVID-19. It's everywhere. So we are just speaking on it. That's it. We still have your Constitution, First Amendment right in the Constitution. The Constitution does not give you that right. It acknowledges a right that you were born with. So that freedom of speech, you should be openly able to speak about these things without any blowback, any discrimination, any persecution. I'm not telling nobody to not get vaccinated. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is do not mandate it on me if you don't have enough data. He just said we don't have enough data. He said this. But look, let me show you something in case y'all wasn't aware of it. Some of y'all probably know about this, but some of you might not. Let me show you something else real quick. Okay. Now you see, this is from the horse's mouth. I let Fauci talk for himself. I gave a little colorful commentary, but he told y'all, right? But let's take a look. Check this out. Wait, what? FDA wants 55 years to process the Freedom of Information Act request over vaccine data. The FDA says, wait, we need 55 years. Y'all want to know all this data we got about vaccines and its efficacy and the results and oh, wait. We need 55 years. Wait. No. Doesn't matter if we don't have enough data. Oh, wait, we do have the data? Oh, shoot. Okay, wait. Give me 55 years and we'll give it to you. Oh, yo, you cannot make this up. Yo, this is real life. You can't make this stuff up. This is crazy. In 55 years, I may not be here. And if I am, I'm going to be an elderly man. Y'all willing that, I'm alive at that time. But damn, you're going to take a whole generation, a whole 40 years plus before you release data? What the heck is going on? But Fauci said we don't have enough data. Or maybe you do, and you just need time to release it. Yo, man, this is crazy, man. But wait. Listen, I didn't make this up, y'all. This is not a conspiracy theory. I'm just reading y'all what's out there. Reuters is a reputable site when it comes to information. Freedom of Information Act requests are rarely speedy, but when a group of scientists asked the federal government to share the data it relied upon in licensing Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine, the response went beyond typical bureaucratic foot dragging, as in 55 years beyond. That's how long the Food and Drug Administration in court papers this week proposes it should be given to review and release the trove of vaccine-related documents responsive to the request. If a federal judge in Texas agrees, plaintiffs, public health, and medical professionals for transparency can expect to see the full record in 2076. Now, check it out. I'm all for science. I applaud these scientists saying that, hey, we're going to put in the Freedom of Information Act to the FDA. We want enough data about this vaccine so we know its efficacy. We know what we're working with. This is what they're saying. And now it's up to the federal courts to say yes or no. And if they say, nah, y'all can't get that, then the FDA says, okay, we need 55 years. Just give us 55 years and we'll give it to y'all. By that time, all those people might be dead who was requesting it, but never mind that. It doesn't matter. We need 55 years to process this data. What are y'all doing with all that money you have? What is these people? Are you telling me you can't create jobs where people can review this data and have a turnaround within a reasonable amount of time, like a couple of years? Why do you need 55 years when Fauci is telling us there's not enough data? Wait, this is what Fauci's saying. And he didn't just say this on this Omicron. He says this countless amount of times since last year. We don't have enough data. We don't have enough data. But they said that they have a treasure trove of vaccine-related documents. Wait a second. I don't know what's going on, man. This feels like the Twilight Zone. All right? This feels like the Twilight Zone, man. It feels like the Twilight Zone. Again, this is unreasonable, right? And remember, these scientists that are asking for the data are not against vaccines. They pro-vaccines. And they trying to figure out, wait, why y'all need 55 years? This is crazy. The 1967 Freedom of Information Law requires federal agencies to respond to information requests within 20 business days. However, the time it takes to actually get the documents will vary depending on the complexity of the requests and any backlog requests already pending at the agency. Justice Department lawyers represented FDA note in court papers that the plaintiffs are seeking a huge amount of vaccine-related material, about 329,000 pages. Yes, we want that amount of data so we can go ahead and say, okay, now we believe it's safe enough to administer this vaccine at my clinic because we have all the data. This is what they're saying. So if you have all these pages of data, just release it. Give it to them. Why do you need to review it first? They're scientists. This is not Joe Blow down the street. Okay, I'm going to stop here, man. I'm going to stop. 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 Hold on. Hold on. I'm just going to stop. I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot. Okay. All right. I'm gonna read one more thing to y'all real quick. Hold on. Let me get something else for you real quick. Hold on. I have one more thing here. Let me see. Where is it at? Let me try to get this last thing. Let me go move forward. I'll leave it alone. Oh, man, I just lost it. So you know what? I'm gonna leave it here. I'm going to leave it here. All right. Let's leave it alone. Let's wait in 55 years. If I'm still alive, I'll do a Freestyle Friday on it. If I'm still alive, okay, I will do a Freestyle Friday on it. And I will break the news first, and I will get my old behind up on this screen, and I will get you that data, family. All right? All right. For those of you wondering what it is that I'm drinking, this is a sparkling tonic by a company called Olipop. All right. It contains prebiotics, botanicals, and plant fiber. Okay. The flavor is strawberry vanilla. Right. It supports digestive health. Right. And it has a list of various things in it. All right. It has cassava root fiber, chicory root inulin, Jerusalem artichoke inulin, nopal cactus, calendula flower, kudzu root, marshmallow root, simply elm bark, strawberry juice concentrate, cassava root syrup, apple juice concentrate, lemon juice, stevia leaf, Himalayan pink stalk, and natural vanilla flavor and natural strawberry flavor. Right? That's what it is here that I have here. It has 35 calories in it. It has only 3 grams of sugar. All right. And the added sugar is from natural sources. All right. So anybody interested in this, I got this from Kroger, but they sell it in a host of other places. You can get it from Whole Foods. You can get it from Sprouts. You can get it from Publix, whatever your big supermarket, natural food stores in your area. This is an excellent product right here, and I think it's just awesome. They have different flavors besides strawberry vanilla, but our Kroger, they're running out of supply, so this was the only flavor I was able to get. I like the grape one. I think that's my favorite one, but just want to give this a shout out in case y'all are interested. All right. All right. Ernest Higgs says, if I'm still alive, I will remind you to do that Freestyle Friday. That's what I'm talking about. Good looking, my brother. Andre Waveres, does it taste good? Well, if you can stomach stevia, then it tastes good. I'm not a big fan of stevia. Stevia is okay. You can get past it. I prefer they could have replaced it with maybe cane sugar. But cane sugar would have brought it up more than just 3 grams of sugar, added sugar, obviously. So they stuck with stevia, which is a plant-based sweetener. But I would have added some cane sugar instead. I think they could have make it work with some natural organic cane sugar. All right. All right. All right. So with that being said, let's go and check something out. All right. I want y'all to check something out. Let's check something out real quick. So on the topic of COVID, and we're going to move forward with it, right? I want to show you because we are continuously getting results. All praise to the Most High. We are allowing people to be able to keep their jobs, right? All praise to the Most High. All right. Now, let me show it to y'all real quick. We got some more testimonies. Let me show you the testimonies. Let's get the testimonies. Let's get some testimonies. Share my screen. All right. There we go. Shalom. Apologies for the late reply, but yes, it is my understanding that the exemption letter is approved until further notice. All praises to the Most High. So far, so good. Shalom. I think this is the same one. Let me delete that one because I already moved it. There we go. All right. Praise Yah in Yeshua's name. Thank you all very much. I will be ready for your health counsel and many other things I agreed to after the exemption letter is approved. I will forward the email I received today. What a great and victorious moment. And it says from their employer, thank you for submitting your request for religious exemption for the COVID-19 vaccination. Upon review of the information you provided, the company is granting your request for accommodation, right? Boker Tov, I'm reaching out just to give an update on my religious exemption letter. I've attached a picture of the email that I just received today. It looks like they've accepted my request for religious exemption. Thank you so much. I would have never been able to articulate a formal request for an exemption. Brother, you are a true blessing to our community. Thank you so much. I'm not sure what the future holds for exempt employees, but as of now, I'm still able to work while continuing to work on a backup plan. Again, thank you so much for all that you do. No problem. It is an honor to serve Yah's people. Dear blank, this letter is being sent to you in response to your accommodation request to forego the government mandated COVID vaccination due to your employment at blank, a healthcare facility. Your accommodation request is due to your sincerely held belief or documented medical history indicating it would not be in your best health interest to receive the vaccine. Your request for accommodation was reviewed and found to be a reasonable request. You have been granted accommodation, which can be met without significant interruption to your essential job role functions at blank, blank, blank. And many more. And many more. All right? All praise to the Most High. So far, family, we have only 2 denials. 2. And out of those 2, one of them has an alternative to test. So it's not even a failure or a loss. Everybody else that we've been doing, all getting approved back to back to back to back to back approvals, man. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. And now we are transitioning internationally. Now we're working on assisting our brothers and sisters in Canada who need exemptions, and we're working on that. And then we have brothers and sisters in the UK that need exemptions, and we're going to work on that. And one of the great things about what we offer is this holistic. It intertwines with our natural path to Eden health consultation and education program. That means if we are able to supply to you a successful religious exemption letter that gets approved, and we give you counseling and coaching in regards to your religious exemption form, and if a request for an appeal process is there, if you get denied initially, we can assist with that. Then we ask you to come and get signed up for a naturopathic hidden health consultation, because we're going to teach you how to stay healthy, how to be asymptomatic, how to change your lifestyle so that way you won't live in terror going outside. Oh my God, it can attack me and I can die. Being proactive with your health and taking ownership. So if you're interested outside of that, let's say that you don't need the exemption, but you want to get some coaching and assistance in regards to your health, email us at naturalpathtoeden@gmail.com. We'll put it here in the chat. We think tank these things. We don't just do it just to do it. We think tank them. So we intertwine various things. So we provide a service, or we do the letter, intertwine it with our health consultation program, right? And then from there, we could tie it into other means as well. From there, we can tie it into our Jubilee Manumission program. Anybody out there that needs debt eliminated off of their credit report, you need to remove those derogatory marks, we got you. You need to build your credit, we got you, okay? You need to learn how to be fiscally responsible, we got a financial plan for you, okay? We have all of that, okay? And then we have tons of rollover programs. So we tie you into one, to another, to another, to another, everything that is relevant and necessary so we can take ownership of our own social affairs and achieve autonomy. That is the fear of this oppressive system. And I'm not saying every element of the system is oppressive, but the elements that are oppressive, they only thrive on our dependence. When we're able to take ownership of our own social affairs and repair our own issues and create our own reparations without putting our hand out, that is when we can get a position where we can then negotiate what we want and not protest. Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. Of course. You already know. All right. All right. So get wise. This is Olipop. You can look it up when you get a chance. Olipop. Sparkling tonic. All right. Okay. So we also, for our naturopathic eating program, we're also looking for consultants. So if you have an interest in health, if you're an enthusiast in regards to naturopathy, homeopathy, and you want to utilize that skill set to help others, and in exchange for that, also get a compensation for it, please email us at the same email address, naturopathtoeden@gmail.com, and we will teach you how to build natural immunity. Natural immunity. Again, we're not against vaccinations. If you choose that that's the route you want to go, allopathy got you. But if you want to choose an alternative, especially for those of you who are rejecting the vaccine, you need to express responsibility and take an ownership of your health and showcase your proactive stance on ensuring that you stay healthy, and we can help you achieve that. KHM fills so many blanks, and in this community, we are the mortar to all the bricks and the building blocks necessary to build up ourselves as a small nation within a nation so we can have our Goshens to wade out into our redemption. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we transitioning from that. And again, let's go ahead and go over some of the things we did on the Patreon, because we have some updates on the Patreon. I want to salute and thank all of our Patreons for supporting this ministry. We greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Shout out to all my KHM members in the building. If you're interested in signing up for KHM, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Okay. You can also download the app. The instructions are scrolling across the screen. Download the app from your Google Play Store, your Apple App Store. All right. And install it. Now, let me go ahead and give you that link so you guys can sign up for membership if you're interested. And I'm going to drop that link in the description below as well after this video is over. Okay. And we're going to get that link over to y'all. Here's the link right here. Yes, I do use Irish sea moss. Yes, I do. All right. Kemetic Hebrew, no problem, my brother. And there's nothing wrong with being vaccinated. If that's your choice, my brother, all power to you for it. I am not against it. All right. Yeah, so the email is there. It doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not vaccinated. It doesn't matter, my brother. It goes to show that you want to be proactive in regards to your health, and we support that. So right above, you see the Naturopath to Eden email address. Just email us and let us help you get right. Okay, we'll make sure you get right with your health. All right. Now there's the link right here. Click on that link in the chat if you're not a member of KHM, and join us, because it's only through membership and getting members involved in all the working parts that we have in this organization can we bring these program services and products to the community. So please, if this is something that you see, that you like and you enjoy, and you're willing to put your hand to the plow, once the screen goes off, click that link and sign up for membership and join the team, man. Because, yo, our victory laps is crazy. And I have a new t-shirt design that's coming out. I already ordered mine. First dibs. If you're on the Patreon, we're going to do a post so you can see what that is. You can place your orders before we go public with it. I'll go public with it next Friday, next live stream. Next Friday, I'm going to go public with it. It's a dope t-shirt. I know you're going to like it. I know you're going to like it. Okay. But if you're on the Patreon, you get first dibs. You get to see it. You get to place your order and go from there. Everybody else, next Friday, you'll be able to get it. All right, next Friday. All right. All right. So what I was saying was, let me go ahead and show you some updates on the Patreon. Thank you to all of our supporters, everybody that's joined our team, everybody that's part of the Patreon. We are investing thousands of dollars to improve our Patreon. We are now being invited to all these Patreon workshops. So we're going to start applying this knowledge that we're learning about how to utilize Patreon so we can maximize our potential that we have in our community and communities outside of our niche community, outside of the Israelite community. All right. And the more that we can expand that way, the more places we get access to. That's the key thing. The more places we can move brews in. Right here. We in this space, you go here. We in this space, you go here. All praise to the Most High. All right. The amount of revenue we bringing in for the ministry, the more lives we can help, the more change can occur, the more financial aid we can provide, the more jobs we can provide. Because my ultimate goal in life is to employ as many of our people as possible who are interested in making ministry their livelihood. That is a beautiful thing. When ministry can become your full livelihood, right? It's almost mine, right? However, I'm also providing opportunities for other people to eat, for other people to grow, for this to become their livelihood as well. See, you're only successful as the person to your left and the person to your right. If the people around you is not equally as successful as you, then your success is limited. Actually, your success is stifling everybody around you. When that happens, then you're cancerous. Because now it goes to show that you're leeching off of everybody around you so that you and only yours can be successful. That's problematic. Very problematic. Okay. All right. So, yes. So, and far as coming back to Texas, our next stop for a chapter launch is Houston, Texas. All right. We plan to be in Houston probably at the end of January next year. If all goes well, we will be in Houston in January. All right. Yah willing. After this holiday rush season is over, thank Yah that Thanksgiving is done. We got 2 more holidays and we will be free. All right. Please, Yah. Please. And then after that, then you got to deal with Valentine's Day in February. Then you got to deal with St. Patrick's Day in March before you get to the first feast day, which is Feast of Unleavened Bread in Pesach. So we got to go through several of their holidays and their Sabbaths before we get to that point. But nonetheless, Houston is our next stop. And then after Houston, we are looking to go to Toronto. So we will be in Toronto and UK are the 2 international cities that we plan to be in 2022. Yah willing, if all goes well. You never know with this coronavirus thing what's going on. I have no clue what's going to happen next year, but we would love to make it to Toronto and the surrounding areas and to London in the UK and its surrounding areas. That is our goal next year, okay? And if at the tail end of the year things are okay, then we would like to make it to Johannesburg, South Africa, if we can make it there, all right? And then we want to start from there to start doing our documentary, okay? As we go to Egypt and then Israel, etc. Okay. So yes, we'll be in Ohio next year too. Ohio is one of the places we'll be next year as well, because we'll be getting a lot of demand from people telling us to come to Ohio. So we will be in Ohio. All right. All right. So appreciate that, family. All right. So let me give y'all some of the updates that we got on the Patreon. All right. So give me a second. Let me go ahead and show it to y'all. Added some new goodies for y'all on there. We got tons more content coming. I'm so glad that we're able to go to these workshops now, because the DivineProspect Patreon is the #1 Patreon in the Israelite community. The #1. Now, we may not have as many subscribers on YouTube. We may not have many followers on social media, but when it comes to Patreon, the DivineProspect Patreon page, we have more patrons supporting us altruistically than any other Patreon in the Israelite community. And if you don't believe me, you post whoever you know that has a Patreon in the community, put them in that search box and see if they have more patrons than us. All that's saying is that the formula that we're working with is successful. People invest in what they value. People value KHM. They value the DivineProspect brand because they see y'all working through it. and they see that we're producing results, repeatable results. That's the key thing. Repeatable results. This thing is bigger than me. I just use my brand as an impetus to get us access to the places we need to be at so we can get the resources we need to bring it back to our Goshen and build our Goshen. That's the goal. We got our PR rep, Katina, back on site. All praise to the Most High from that. She's going to make a lot of PR moves for us to get us into certain spaces that Israelites normally don't venture in. All praise to the Most High. We got a lot of things coming down the line. A lot of things coming. And we cannot do this without your help. So you can do so by continuing to support this ministry, by signing up for the Patreon. You can donate if you want, but we really want you to sign up for membership and get involved firsthand with everything that's going down. Okay? So let's go ahead and check out that Patreon so you can see some of these new goodies that we have coming up, or we have on there already. And then I'm going to go and break down a particular scripture and give a word of encouragement to y'all, because some of y'all use this to your advantage, I guess, for the Sabbath. And again, I'm going to start going back to work on the Sabbath messages. I know a lot of y'all are asking for that, so I want to do that for y'all as well. And then when I get the time and the resources, then I would like to stream those Sabbath sessions live at some point. I know a lot of y'all also asking for KHM to have congregations all across the U.S. and across the world, and we're going to consider that in Q3 of next year. All right, so just bear with us. Give us some time. We're doing things in phases, and we're seeing what works and what doesn't, so we can methodologically take the best approach from A to Z and achieve an autonomy within our community. All right. All right. So first up here, as you can see, we have over 615 posts. Over 615 posts. I mean, that is phenomenal. So not only do we have the #1 patron within the Israelite community, we probably have the most posts as well, right? Don't quote me on that. I'm still looking to see if we're still #1 in that area, but we have a lot of posts. So if you're on Patreon, I mean, you have years worth of content on there to go back and see, and then it's going to take you years to go through all the content that we've given you. And then we still got more. We're piling it on. We're piling it on. There's nothing like this Patreon page. There's so much content out there. Like I said, this is the 24/7 after party. Okay. All right. So let's take a look. All right. So we added this new book called The Lives of Ordinary People in Ancient Israel, where Archaeology and the Bible Intersect, by William G. Dever. So if you've ever been interested in knowing how did the people live day to day, this is a book that gives excellent insight into that. This helps you to be able to relate with the people in the past, not just from reading the scripture by itself, but looking at scripture and archaeology and see how they mesh to give you a bigger picture of the lives of people who lived at that time. And the more you can relate to them, the more the narrative comes to life. The more you take it personally, the more you can identify yourself with the people that lived at that time and why you are their answered prayer and why you are their dreams manifested. What will you do with your opportunities that you're given? Are you going to let your ancestors down or not? How is that working? All right. Whoops. Let me put it supposed to back up. Hold on. There we go. All right. The next one is, has archaeology buried the Bible? I know some people get a little antsy and shaky when archaeology is mentioned when it comes to dealing with the scriptures, because they believe that archaeology has silenced the Bible, has proven the Bible to be wrong. That is far from the case. There's a science of harmonization between text and archaeology that a lot of experts in the field are doing. Me, myself as well. I'm doing the same practice. So if you're interested to see if archaeology buries the Bible or if it helps to breathe life into it, this is an excellent book you can get to do so, by William G. Dever. And remember, you can read all of this for free from my digital library through our Patreon links. All right. All right. The next one is a poll that we have asking people, why do they support our Patreon page? All right. The other one is this Clubhouse session right here. All right. We did a KHM Holistic Research Paradigm for Bible Study intro on Clubhouse to start to engage audiences on all social media platforms about our upcoming classes. That's been a whole year in the making. Man, these classes, when it comes out, nothing will be able to compete with it in the Israelite community. Nothing. And that's not saying that nothing that anybody else is doing or teaching and how they teach it is bad. We just like to be unique, on the cutting edge, and at the forefront of innovation, right? Because we think tank things. Look at things 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. How, if I invest in this today, will that impact me and my community 5, 10, 15, 20, 100 years from now? All right. So here you can get a glimpse of it, like we've done in previous live streams, to show you the approach we take in deciphering the text. But this right here would be extremely helpful in showing you how to do that. Also, we added a new book of the Bible. This is Numbers chapter 1 to 36 of the cinematic audio Bible with the cast of Black actors and actresses acting out the Bible. And not only acting it out, there is sound effects and there's an orchestral soundtrack going on at the same time. If you listen to this with headphones or with surround sound, you will be enveloped in the scriptures. And the people speaking are just like you. And they're reflecting exactly how our people would have sounded at that time as well. All praise to the Most High. And we allow you to access this as well. So awesome research that we give you access to. There's another book called The Creation of Man and Woman, Interpretations of the Biblical Narratives in Jewish and Christian Traditions, edited by Gerard P. Lutique Huizen. Hopefully I'm saying that right. An excellent book that is a collection of various essays as it pertains to several elements of the scriptures, more particularly the creation of man and woman. Excellent, excellent resource if you're interested in going deeper and delving deeper scholarly into your biblical studies. All right? Okay. So you can definitely sign up for the Patreon. And again, take advantage of that, what I just showed you, and plenty more resources. I know you guys will appreciate and enjoy it. And again, we're going to continuously add more and more and more and more. Okay. All right. All right. Shout out to McGarvey Chaperon in the building. Shalom. Tony Yasharala. Shalom. O'Shea White. Shalom. Shalom. Not Sorim 10. Shalom. Brother Yahudi Ya. Shalom. Let me see. Anybody else? Eternal Ko Chow 11. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Let me see. By hearing and hearing by. Shalom. My brother Elephant Man Podcast Network, shalom. Mika Yisrael, shalom. Daniel N, shalom. Sister Yapar Kalaya, Kimberly M, shalom. Shalom, what's going on? Lisa Anderson, shalom. Mika Yisrael, shalom. Thank you, my brother Ernest Hicks, for the donation. I appreciate that. Anybody else who donated, thank you, my brother James, for the donation. I appreciate that as well. Thank you so much for your support. And everybody else that just signed up for the Patreon, I salute you. People who just signed up for the One Church app to join KHM, I salute you, man. We're doing an excellent job with our administrators. Shout out to my administration team, man. They are excellent. My executive assistant, wonderful, keeps me on point with everything. And our administrative team, led by Sister Leslie, man, they're doing a wonderful job, man, getting everything restructured and back in order. I can't ask or pray for a better team, man. I thank y'all for that. Shout out to Keisha Marshall in the building, my brother Slow Flow, the God. Shalom, Sister Tahira, beloved. What's going on, beloved? How you doing? My brother Malak Y in the building. Shalom, Manika Williams. Shalom, sis. I see you. What's going on? Marcus Jarman. Shalom. AJ Bethia. Shalom. The team and the squad is here. Make sure you guys share this link everywhere. Hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. If you're brand new, smash that subscribe button and get locked in. Go back and check out the archives. You think this video is fire, you ain't seen nothing yet. All right. So let's get into this small edification session, and then we're going to do a quick Q&A if we have the time. Right now, we're on 1 hour and 20 minutes, which is great. We're doing wonderful with time. We got about 40 minutes. Then you're going to start wrapping or winding down around that time. But let me go into the scripture. So if y'all don't already know, in the link in the description below, you can click on that link if you want a free one-on-one consultation with me. It's available to any and everybody. Click on the link in the description and schedule your one-on-one consultation. Recently, I had tons of consultations recently, but I had one in particular that stood out. Shout out to Michael Andrew. Shalom. What's going on, King? I had one particular session that stood out. I'm not going to mention the brother's name or give any particular details. I'm doing good, sis. I'm glad to see that you're doing good as well. I'm going to keep you in my prayers that everything goes okay with you on your end. And if you need us, feel free to email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com and let us hold you down. Anybody else in here that needs any help or any assistance, if we can help you, email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. Please give us some time to get to you because we get tons of requests. All right. And we're going to do our best to assist you. All right. And again, click on the description below and you'll see all the details you need. If you want to schedule a consultation for debt elimination, the link is below. If you want to reach out to us on regards to the health tip, email us at naturalpathtoeden@gmail.com. If you, your family member, your friend, your child, anybody needs a religious exemption letter and or coaching in regards to a religious exemption form and or assistance with anything along those lines, have them click on the link below to begin the process or email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. We are on the front lines of this battle. We have been success after success after success. And we want to continue to allow us to permeate into the spaces that when people see Israelite in that letter, it means something. It has power, it has authority, and they cannot deny it. All praise to the Most High. Shout out to you, Soul Sister 416. I see you, sis. All right. So one of the previous sessions that I had on a one-on-one consultation, a great edification consultation, the brother asked me an excellent question in regards to his relationship with Yah. How can I get closer with Yah? So I gave him Psalm 37:4. And we and him talked about so many other things that I wish I could share, but I'm going to just touch on this one, right? So Psalm 37:4, and these are the things that we do in our coaching sessions, things that we will also do in our edification sessions. So we're going to do edification workshops, right? We're going to show you how to be edified, how to edify others, and how reading the text can be translated into repeatable results in your life. Okay, so we don't just talk about things that are static. We work in a dynamic. And I want to show you something that you typically will overlook if you did not understand that the authors that wrote it comes from what's called a high context culture. All right, meaning that little words are given here and there, but there's a lot of information packed in there. The problem is we are not given the keys to decode it. And once we do, we can then align ourselves up with that culture because it is natively ours. We have ownership on it. Shout out to Big Main in the building. What's going on, King? Holding down the DMV area. That's my brother right there. All right. So let's go to the scripture real quick. All right. Very simple scripture that a lot of y'all have heard before in the past, but let's give some depth to it. All right. Psalm 37:4. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. What does that mean? Right? Let's break this down. Right? Let's break it down. I want to show you some stuff real quick. All right. Wehith anag. Wehith anag. Wehith anag. Anag. You have your vit right here, your vav, and your shewa, your hey, with your hirik, your tav, which is open, give you the sound, the th sound, the soft sound. You have your shewa underneath that. You have your ayin, your patak, you have your noon with the dagesh, your patak, and you have your gimel, right? At the end. Vehith. And when you have this heath prefix, that gives you the heath pa'el stem. When you have the heath and you have a patak there, or even a patak zere, you have your heath pa'el stem. And in this case, it's the reflective active voice. Very important. We're going to see what that means, right? So we heath anag al Yahweh, we yiten leka mis alot lib beka, lib beka. Lib, this is your preposition, lamed preposition, and then you have your beka. Excuse me, not preposition. I'm bugging. Lib, this is your root for heart, and ka is your second person singular masculine, your heart, right? Your heart. So here's the key thing. From the desires of your heart, delight in Yahweh, and he shall give, right? He shall give. Your yod prefix is your imperfect. In this case is your kal imperfect. The vav is your conjunction, which means you're adding this and delight, because this connects to the previous clause. So, and delight yourself in Yahweh, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Well, how do you do this? It sounds good, right? How do you do this? People use this as affirmations, but how do you apply it? Now, the person who I was talking to was a male, and it was good that he was a male, and discussing with him to get him to understand the concept. And women, y'all can catch it too, right? But check it out. I'm going to break it out for you, right? If this is in the reflective, right? The reflective, right? It's intransitive. What is an intransitive verb? Let's look it up. Right? Intransitive verb. In grammar, an intransitive verb does not allow a direct object. This is distinct from a transitive verb, which takes one or more objects. All right? The verb property is called transitivity. Intransitive verbs are often identified as those that can't be followed by who or what. A transitive verb is a verb that requires an object to receive an action, but an intransitive verb does not require an object to receive the action. So that means when it says delight yourself in Yah, in is your preposition in Yah, but the action is you're performing it amongst yourself. Intransitively, you're performing the action on yourself, and then it gives you a direction in Yah. How do you delight yourself in Yah? Because it doesn't take any direct object. We don't see the action being acted on a direct object, or what we call an accusative, right? So the nominative, the subject, is performing the action reflectively on himself. The same thing when we see Heath McCartem in regards to, and they offered themselves for sale in Deuteronomy 20:68, right? Now we have something else that's happened intransitively as well. How do you delight yourself? You're performing the action on yourself reflectively, not concretely, but abstractly. You're performing the action on yourself in Yah. In this case, it says in, but al can be also upon something, right? And in this case, in would make better sense. So delighting yourself in Yah. In Yah. It's deep. And then he shall give you the desires of your heart. Well, the key thing is look up, what is this root word here? Anag. What does this root word mean? Watch this. Check it out. Anog means, or nag means to be soft, delicate, and dainty. And you can see over here in Deuteronomy 28:56, y'all know those curses, so you'll probably see this word delicateness. But it means to be soft, delicate, and dainty. Woo! What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Divine? I'm a man. What you mean I gotta be soft? To be pliable, to live or spend in enjoyment, to have amorous behavior, right? In the Heath Payel, be of dainty habit. And it's also in the infinitive construct, where we see it here in Devarim 28:56, to take exquisite delight. Well, what does that mean? How does that work? What are you talking about, Divine? So here's the key thing. Are you soft and pliable in the hands of Yah? Is your will moldable by Yah? Are you giving yourself as something to be cherished by Yah? When you align your will with his, when you become soft and pliable to him, because as the scriptures say that he is the potter, we are the clay. Are you clay in Yah's hands? How does that work? What do you mean? His will. Does your will align with his will? When you read the statutes and commandments, the scripture, his word, does your will align with his? Are you soft? Are you non-combative when his will is being played out in his life? Do you accept it? Are you prostrating yourself before him? Are you surrendering before him? Are you being willing to carry out his deeds and his acts in the earth? Are you decreasing yourself so he may increase in your life? A great example of that is this: the polar opposite in genders. You have a masculine energy and a feminine energy. When a man in ancient times is taking a woman, he is looking for femininity in that woman, right? That woman is dainty. She's delicate. She's soft and pliable. That does not mean she's weak. Does not mean you step all over her and take advantage. It's not what that's saying. There's power in femininity, and because of the feminist movement, many women don't want to exercise their power and femininity, but they want to exercise their masculine side and compete with men because they're tired of the patriarchy. Well, we push the egalitarian societal method, but that's something totally different. We could talk about that another time. But nonetheless, we support womanism over here, not feminism. With that being said, when that man goes to get that woman, he is looking for certain qualities that is complementary to the house that he's building, the family that he's building, the businesses that he's constructing. What does that mean? That means that woman in her femininity, she becomes soft, pliable things in his hand. She is, yes, master. Yes, my lord. People say like Sarai, Baal. Just simply means the head of household. She is willing to perform actions. She is putting herself in a way to be delighted by him, to be accepted by him. She's attracted by him. She's not there to compete with his will, but to work in alignment with his will. And as a byproduct of that, he is have all this fervor to want to protect and provide and produce with her. Because she has become pliable and soft clay in his hands. So with that, she becomes his opposite help, his opposite aid. So that way, and working in conjunction together to formulate this house or this home, they can now accomplish things together. So the desires of her heart, because she is soft and dainty and delicate towards him, loving, affectionate towards him, submissive towards him, are willing to agree with his will, but at the same time, if there is some disagreement, she's not afraid to voice it, but she's not going to voice it in a sense where it overrides his position in the home. That man will be so attracted to that energy, he will be willing to give her the desires of her heart. We see a very good example of that being played out in wickedness in regards to Herod and the woman that was dancing for him that wanted the head of John the Baptist. And because her actions and her femininity pleased him, he went and decreed that John's head be cut off. Women, y'all have a power like none other on this planet. Y'all gave you something that is very beautiful and amazing and awe-inspiring. But men, the hierarchy, if we expect women to be pliable to us, are we pliable to Yah? Because Yah has a will for those who are women as well. So if you mistreat them, if you oppress them, if you silence them, Yah will judge you. But in order to obtain favor from Yah, you have to have a nice, good, wonderful, powerful woman that's at your side. So men, we also must be submissive towards Yah. We must be living a life that's attractive to him. We must be pleasing him. It must be a delight in aligning with his will and accepting things that happen in our life. The things that happen in life with acceptance does not mean they're favorable, but it just means that you know that you come to a point that what happened, you can't change it. And all you're doing is understanding that this is part of a grander plan and that you move in the direction that this thing can possibly take you after you learned your lesson. There's greater for you at the end of the road. Okay. Hopefully somebody got that. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all understand that. Maybe some of y'all may have missed that, but it's okay. But when we have these conversations on our one-on-ones, this is what I impress upon the recipient, so I leave an indelible mark so that they may be heightened and elevated in their walk with Yah, and they can take that knowledge and pay it forward. So when we get into our lessons, we're going to dive into Proverbs. I say all the time, the Mashalim, or the Proverbs, gives you the practical application of Torah. The Psalms also gives you practical application of Torah. If the statute of commandments are too complex for you, read Proverbs. It will simplify. Why? Because the statute of commandments is from the Most High, giving it to Moshe, who, remember, had 40 years in Egypt, so he was a learned man. And then he chose the Levites, which is a tribe of the most studied people amongst them, and gave them these legal codes. And then they had to be the intermediaries between the Most High and common man to share this information. But now the Levites have been disbanded for a certain time period. The Most High is going to gather them in the end time. But check it out. In the interim, when you read Proverbs, it starts at Proverbs chapter 1. Let me show you why Proverbs is so simplified. Let's get that real quick. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8. Hear, my son, your father's instruction, and forsake not your mother's Torah. For they are a graceful garland for your head and pendants for your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. Well, check it out. Hold on. I teach this all the time, right? Proverbs 1 and 8. Do not forsake your mother's Torah. Why? The father lays down the boundaries in which protection, provision, and production can occur. He lays down those boundaries, and as long as you stay within those boundaries, he is obligated to provide those things. And the mother's job is to give you the statute, laws, and commandments on how to navigate within those boundaries, so you may be in right standing and favor with the father, who is the head of household, that has created those boundaries of protection and provision and production. Do not forsake the Torah, imaka, of your mother. Do not forsake it. And the musar, the instruction, the discipline, the correction, the chastening, because that is what establishes boundaries within the home. So a father is talking to his son. This is why Proverbs is a simplified form of the statute, laws, commandments, because the father has lived a life of righteousness according to the statute, laws, commandments, and he's able to simplify the information in a digestible format for his son, who is but a youth. Okay. All right. Okay. Shout out to Project Wake Up Jacob in the building. Shalom, Sister Avi Yavi. Shalom, I see you. Right? Sister Nisi Pisi says, a masculine man of Yah is the utmost attractive man. Society will have you believe that as a man, you must tap into your femininity. As a woman, you must tap into your masculinity. That's what society teaches, right? Or not society, I would just say people in society will have you to tap into that. And then we wonder why there's so much competition when it doesn't need to be, right? Women love men who are assertive, men that can protect, men that can provide, men that can produce, because these are the three things that made men valuable in the past. And men love women who are nurturing, who are submissive, and who is that still voice of wisdom. That know when it's time, my king, to serve you, when it's time to nurture you when you're sick, when you need to get healthy, when it's time to speak words of encouragement to you behind the scenes when nobody can see you in your lowest moments and build you up, right? Take care of the children and make sure to impart in them what has been established in a home by you and follow suit. being given the autonomy to manage the household, to make sure everything is in alignment, so that king, when he leaves the house, has no fears or no worries. And then when he comes back home and brings a provision, that he can continue to supply her with all her needs, and then her wants in abundance, because she has done her due diligence to take care of that home, to make sure that that king has a place where it is the healing hospital. It is the sauna. It is the place of meditation and peace, because the home is not the battlefield. That is where you go to get healed, to be whole, to get a sense of peace, of mind, of spirit, and soul. But when you go outside that house, that is the battlefield. That's where you fight at. So that dynamic is missing a lot in our communities and needs to be restored. But it's okay. KHM got you. We got counselors that we get in this position to do these types of consultations, so it all won't be on me, because I'm doing almost all the consultations for KHM, which I don't mind. That's why I have my schedule open up to do so. But we're going to have workshops and training sessions so we can train others to do the same thing. How can you get one passage of scripture so much attention to detail in it that when a person hears it, automatically they jump into application mode and they're able to yield repeatable results? Okay. All right. All right, family. That's all I had to share on today. If you have any additional questions, comments, please post them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer it. We got 18 minutes left. Please, nothing too laborious. If you have something like that, you can email it to us or inbox me on the Patreon or reach out to me on other forms of social media, and I'll do my best to take that for you. But on our Patreon, we have a video Q&A session series that we're doing, so we can go ahead and do that. All right. Avia V says, teach the teenage boys how to be men. The reason why teenage boys lack the capability to be men is because the rites of passage culturally has been removed for our community. Remember, culture responds to intrinsic and extrinsic changes, and it creates a paradigm to address those changes. What am I talking about? So in humans, there are certain biological functions that occur at certain phases of our lifespan. When young boys and girls are maturing into adulthood, there are hormonal changes. The girl starts to get her period. The boy starts to get deeper voice, puts on more muscle mass. The girl starts to become more dainty, more delicate. So the culture sees these biological changes, and it sees that these teenagers are now being prepped for reproduction. But before reproduction can occur, they must pass a series of rites to ensure that they have the mental fortitude for adulthood. We don't have that no more because we are a culturalist society in America. Matter of fact, we are not culturalist. We just don't have an ancestral culture here, an ancient ancestral culture here in society that's been tried and true and tested and passed down. We have something that was created so we can adapt to our environment, and an unhealthy, oppressive environment. We've created a culture that will allow us to survive and at the highest end of the stick to somewhat thrive. And that thriving happens only individually. It can never happen collectively. Why? Because most of our people's minds are destroyed. The society has plagued the minds of our people. So we have to initiate and bring back these rites of passage to ensure that our children have the mental fortitude for adulthood. And if they have not been given these series of tests, activities, etc., to test that mental fortitude, then it is very likely that they will succumb to the pressures of society, and they will be broken, and they will be remolded and repurposed by the society to continue to keep this system going. And we cannot allow that. So that is why here at KHM, our objective is to reconstruct and restore that ancestral culture so we can then embed it back into the community and create a village again and out of that become autonomous and govern our social affairs, such as creating our own rites of passage, do our own halakha of the text, so that way we can enforce it with our youth and prepare them for adulthood and for society at large. Hallelujah. All right, do it for the nation. My brother, post the scripture so we can analyze the scripture. All right. Seth, you said you have a Patreon question. Okay, I'll go check it out over the weekend for you. All right, my brother. Thank you so much. So Get Wise says, what book do you recommend on the order of Melchizedek? Well, I actually recommend a lecture that I did. Let me post that lecture for you in here. Hold on 1 second. Let me get it for you. Right? If you have not already watched this lecture, I would advise you to watch it because I go into detail in the latter half of it about the Melchizedek order. And I also have videos on my YouTube channel. So just type in DivineProspect, Melchizedek, and you'll see the videos come up. All right? All right. Also, if you are interested in more about the Melchizedek order, you have to look into the Dead Sea Scrolls. Look up the Melchizedek scroll, okay? And also look up all the extra biblical works written and left behind by the Qumran community inhabitants and residents, where they speak a lot about that particular order, okay? Lav, he said that lecture was tough. All praise to the Most High, man. And we getting back to lectures next year. You know, I thrive better in an environment where I have an audience, whether they're receiving, whether they're trying to rebut, refute. I love that type of energy, and I want to get right back to it, right? So hopefully things mellow out with this coronavirus COVID-19 thing, and we can start doing our lectures again. We're still doing our chapter launches, but I want to do lectures in all the cities that we launch chapters as well. All right? All praise to the Most High. Okay? All right. So let's go to Leviticus 3:17. Remember, Vayikra or Leviticus is a legal code written and prescribed for the priest, the Levites. So let's get Leviticus 3. And just so you know, Leviticus chapter 1 to chapter 4 deals with offerings. All right. So let's go ahead and get that. Let's see what the brother's talking about. Let's dive into that. All right. So Christopher Jackson says, was John 1 added to the text? John 1 is a prologue. It is believed that the Johannine community, the successors of John, the apostle, or Yachanan, were the ones that put together the prologue in order to combat and refute Gnosticism that was on the rise at that time. All right. Now, he could have authored some of it, but the final version is believed to have been put together by the Johannine community. All right. And it is a prologue. It is not part of the narrative. It is a prologue. All right. From John chapter 1, going all the way down to, I'll tell you right now, John chapter 1, going all the way down to John 18. That is the whole prologue of the text before we dive into the narrative, which is the narrative part is actually ascribed to John, but the prologue, it believes that he may have authored some of it, or some of that knowledge may have been taught by him, but his successors, the Johannine community, actually formulated that and put it together in order to combat Gnosticism, right? And Gnosticism pretty much believes that Jesus Christ was spirit and he wasn't flesh, because flesh is bad, spirit is good. All right. There's more things that Gnosticism teaches, but that's one of the core things that Gnosticism teaches. Okay. No, Get Wise. You could do reaction videos to stuff that I say. I'm fine with that, my brother. You know, anybody can do a reaction video to the stuff that I say. I'm okay with that. No problem. It'd be great if you want to join KHM, but there's no pressure or coercion in doing that either. That's totally up to you whenever you're ready to do it, if you even want to do it. That's totally up to you, my brother. All right? All right, so let's get Leviticus chapter 3. Tone from the city says, do you believe we will be delivered from this kingdom? When you say this kingdom, are you talking about America? Are you talking about a world order system? When you say this kingdom, my brother, please be more specific. All right. All right. So let me get here. Andre Waverer says, are you a Messianic Jew? I'm an Israelite, and I could be classified as a Messianic Jew, right? I could be classified as that. So AKA Messianic Jew, right? What does that mean? That means that I keep the statutes, laws, commandments, and I also subscribe to Yeshua as being a Messiah for Yisrael in these last times, right? And I'm a follower of his teachings as well, because it does not contradict Torah. It enhances maneuverability while we're in captivity. He shows you how to maneuver in captivity and how to make the most of our lifetime while we're in captivity, while we're awaiting our redemption. Okay? And he kept pointing us back to the Father and his commandments, because he didn't come with his own words. And if he did, I would not be a follower of his at all. Leviticus or Vayikra chapter 3. Jump down, right? If his offering, again, it's talking about an offering. If his offering is a goat, then he shall offer it before the Most High and lay his hand on his head and kill it in front of the tent of meeting, and the sons of Aaron shall throw its blood against the sides of the altar. Then he shall offer from it as his offering for a food offering to the Lord, the fat covering. Again, this is connected to an offering. Now remember I said there are 4 types of offerings. This is talking about peace offerings. Peace offerings are what? Voluntary. Thanksgiving offerings are voluntary, or what's called free will offerings. But guilt and sin offerings are required. Okay? So remember, brother, this has to do with a peace offering. That is the context. Okay? All right. Then it says, then he shall offer from it as his offering for a food offering to Yod He Wafe, the fat covering the entrails and all the fat that is on the entrails, and the 2 kidneys with the fat that is on them at the loins, and the long lobe of the liver that he shall remove with the kidneys. And the priest shall burn them on the altar as a food offering with a pleasing aroma. All fat is the Most High's. That's the key thing, right? All the fat is his, with this particular type of offering. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations and in your dwelling places, that you eat neither fat nor blood as it pertains to this type of offering. Remember, these are legal codes given to the Levites. The Levites are not to eat fat nor blood from this type of offering. It is all the Most High's. All right, my brother? So that's a way to simplify and answer that question for you. So hopefully that gives you enough information to understand that concept there, okay? All right. Anytime, Tone for the city, no problem. All right? All right, so I think we're making good time. I answered a good amount of questions. So I'm actually going to close off. Somebody says, so can brothers eat sushi, or is it unlawful if it's uncooked, i.e. a salmon hand roll? Well, Tone for the city, you would have to send me a scripture where it says that we can't eat uncooked food, right? You got to send me that scripture, all right? Christopher Jackson says, can you break down John 1, or do you have previous recordings? I do have previous recordings where I do break down John 1. You may not be able to find it with just a regular search, because I've done it in a couple of live streams, but I will do a video on it for you if you're interested. Is there something in particular about John 1 you want to break down? Like a particular verse or the whole chapter? Because really, I think that the thing is the prologue, which is John chapter 1, verse 1 to verse 18. That requires a lot of breaking down, okay? But that, to me, from my position, does not support a Trinity in any way, shape, or form. It does not support, John chapter 1 also does not support a virgin birth at all, okay? That Gehenomai Sarx, when he becomes flesh, happened at his baptism, which is in the same chapter. That is called adoptionism. And this is the position that the Ebionites and the Nazarites held, who were considered Jewish Christians. And that is the position that I hold as well. I hold the position of adoptionism. I don't hold in the position of the virgin birth at all. That's not my position, okay? All right, so let me know if there's something in particular, Christopher. If so, email me at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com and I'll give you some information on that. But if you want a custom video on that, sign up for our Patreon, and I will do that in our video Q&A series. That video Q&A series are exclusively to our patrons, where I take all the questions that they have and I do a 15 to 20 minute video on their specific question. Okay. Christopher Jackson, I understand a lot of people also do have that position. Now, I actually have a video on YouTube called Trinity on Trial. Type in DivineProspect, Trinity on Trial, and you'll see why I address the Trinity. All right. I first express my mechanical understanding of the Trinity, and then I express my rebuttals and refutations of the doctrine. Okay. And why it is not necessary in order for you to subscribe to Yeshua HaMashiach. Okay. McGarvey Chaperon, yes, that is correct. Unless you can show me a scripture that says otherwise, the prescription in regards to fat and blood had to do with the Levites as it pertains within the scripture that we read to the peace offering of a goat that is given by somebody as a free will offering. Okay. So when you said you thought we couldn't eat sushi because it doesn't have scales, well, the fish itself has scales, right? You descale the fish and you eat the flesh of the fish, but salmon has scales, so you can eat it. And other fish, as long as there's fish that has scales, you should be able to eat it. Now, if you want to talk about whether you can eat it uncooked, you know, that may be some people's cup of tea. I don't like uncooked food at all, right? I think one of the best evolutions of mankind is the discovery of fire. So we can cook our foods because naturally, watch this. This is how you know that meat is not our natural diet. It was something that we adapted to, because no other animal on the planet has to cook its meat to eat it, but human beings. I'm going to say it again. No other animal has to cook its food to eat it, but human beings. But because of fire and cooking food and eating meat, this is where culinary arts developed from in the realm of anthropology. If y'all are interested into that, okay? So hopefully that happens. Donald Lyons, no, I do not subscribe to regeneration. That is not my position. I know some of my camp brothers, they subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to regeneration. I subscribe to resurrection, as stated in Daniel chapter 12. I do not subscribe to regeneration. But the essence that is placed on somebody, that spirit, can be recycled and placed on somebody else. So that way they give a semblance of an ancestor that preceded them. All right. That's my position. All right. So no, Hebrew for life, unless you have a scripture that says we cannot eat uncooked food, especially fish with scales, then there's no prohibition against it. Okay. So does Leviticus 11 have anything to do with what can or cannot be eaten or sacrificed? Well, as far as food, yes, it outlines what's clean and unclean. And this knowledge existed with Noah as well. So as far as a sacrifice in the dietary portion of Leviticus 11, it has nothing to do with sacrifices in the dietary portion, but it does identify what's clean and unclean, which I don't think that those are the best translations of those words. It is what is permissible and what is prohibited. What is permissible and what is prohibited are better words than clean and unclean. Clean and unclean is too religious. Permissible and prohibited is more cultural. It's different. And again, I did a whole lecture in regards to the dietary law. If you're interested in that, I will go ahead and post the link in the chat. You can go ahead and check out that lecture as well. And that's why I said I can't wait to go back to my lectures, because the lectures is fire. I go in depth. I put out so much information. People are still going back to these lectures after year after year after year since I've done it. And I haven't done a lecture since the beginning of 2020. And once coronavirus hits, I stopped doing lectures because it was one particular place that I did it. Not just exclusively there, but I did it the most, and that congregation disbanded. So I cannot wait to see what 2022 holds so I can get back to doing lectures, because that way I could take these questions and do a whole 2-hour lecture on them. All right. Live Judy, you're right. Because my brother, I know your history in IUIC because they teach that, right? Camps teach that, but I don't subscribe to it because there's not a lot of data to support that. And like you said, there's a lot of holes in regards to that. All right. Correct. We can't eat fish if it doesn't have scales. That's correct. All right. All right. So Tone from the city. My last question, King. Do you follow the Sabbath based off the moon cycle or the Gregorian calendar? The Sabbath that I follow is based off of the Gregorian calendar, because when we look at the confluence of the Greeks taking over Palestine and the Jews that live within that rule, underneath that rule, when it came to them keeping their weekly days, there was no change. They didn't have something radically different from that, because Alexander the Great's calendrical model is modeled off of the Chaldean priests in Babylon, and the Babylonians have a similar day-to-day week that the quote-unquote Jews had, or Yahudim had. So it's synonymous, right? So there's no radical change, and people that put forth the Sabbath based on the moon cycles, because they say it's more practical in the ancient times, you have to prove that with scripture. It's very difficult to prove that with scripture, and I've done several lectures on that, right? So my position is the full moon brings in the month according to the overlaid ancient pre-Israelic Israelite sacerdotal menological model, which is a form of reckoning time in order for us to discern when the feast days occur, that is overlaid onto the Gregorian calendar. So if you want to know my position on the Sabbath, my reckoning of time, the calculation of feast days, I have a whole playlist that addresses that. So go and check it out. Okay. So in regards to the eating of blood, this is why the encouragement of cooking food, because the Most High gave, okay, I'm gonna give you this last gem, all right? And this is the last thing I'm gonna address, all right? Do you have anything concerning fornication and ancient marital practices? Yes, I've talked about them in past live streams, but I have not done a full-fledged lecture on it, but I plan to do that next year, okay? So excellent point right there, and I would like to address that, because I'm also going to deal with polygyny. I'm going to deal with what fornication really is, and we're going to deal with ancient marital practices as an institution in Israelite society. We're going to cover the whole gamut as it pertains to that subject matter. All right. Yes. Get on the Patreon, sign up, my brother, if you can, and you'll get all that access. Remember, you can also jump on the Patreon at $5. If you can't get into the $10, $20, $50, or $100 tier, you can jump right into the $5 tier, right? And get access, just as much access as the $10, even though that tier does have some exclusives, but you get a lot of access with just $5 a month. All right. So you can still sign up for that, right? So again, Tobiah, Israel, and Donald Lyons, I'm not going to answer your questions right now because I do want to end off this session and give myself some additional time to debrief and unwind. But please hold those questions for next live stream, and I will address them for you. Okay. And so same thing for you, Sister Navia, or y'all can email me the questions. Or if you want me to do a video on these questions, sign up for the Patreon, inbox me your requests of what you want me to do a video on, and I'll do a quick video on it for you. All right. Do you have any lectures on the virgin birth in Patreon? Glenn Rutledge says, no, not on Patreon, but on YouTube. I do have videos where I address the virgin birth. Just type in DivineProspect and virgin birth, and you'll see the videos that I did on the virgin birth, my brother. Okay. And I think they should be sufficient enough. If you actually want to go deeper into the virgin birth situation, I advise you to watch this lecture. It's pretty lengthy, but if you can get through it, you'll get everything you need to know about the virgin birth. All right. We get that lecture for you. And again, this is why I said I look forward to getting back to the lectures, because I address all these things ad infinitum. That means no stone is left unturned. And it's still the abridged version that I give y'all. Still the abridged version. But anyway, check out that video if you want more information about the virgin birth. I go heavy into it as far as textual criticism, alternate traditions, and then you can just type in my name and virgin birth, and you'll see other videos that I did on the virgin birth. All right. So let me get to this last thing that I wanted to address real quick, right? And then again, all your other questions, family, just hold off on it. Find me on other forms of social media, inbox me them, hit me on Patreon if you want a video of it, or email me, and I'll see if I can get to it, or just hold it until next live stream, and I'll address it for you live, okay? But let me show you something. When it comes to the scripture in regards to flesh, and as far as blood from the flesh, in Leviticus chapter 17, verse 13 and 14, I'm going to give you a little nugget real quick, all right? Let's go to Genesis real quick. All right, let's go to Genesis. And I've shared this before, but some of y'all may be new to it, but let's share it. Let me share it real quick. And I'm going to go. Keep this one short and sweet. You know, sometimes we go with 3 hours. This one I'm going to keep around 2 hours, all right? All right. So this here says here, Genesis chapter 5, verse 28. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he fathered a son and called his name Noah, saying, out of the ground that the Most High has cursed, this one shall bring us relief from our work and from the painful toil of our hands. That is extremely important. I rarely hear anybody bring that out, but let's see where that's fulfilled at. All right, let's jump down. All right, so Genesis chapter 9, it says, and God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth and upon every bird of the heavens, upon everything that creeps on the ground and all the fish of the sea. Why? Because now man will be allowed to hunt animals for food. So instinctively, animals will be very suspicious of us in their natural environment. It says, every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. Now, key thing here, right? Let's go into this real quick. And again, I'm going to make this short. And again, I addressed this in that other lecture that I shared with y'all, right? It says, every remesh, that it lives for you, lachem yiye, le akla, ke yerek. Just as the green herbs, eseb, not tati, lachem it kol. All right. So it shall be as food for you as the herbs. Now, here's the interesting thing. This word remesh, let's see where we find it at, right? Genesis chapter 1 and verse 24. Take a look, right? Check it out. At Genesis 1 and 24. It says, and the Most High said, let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kinds, livestock and creeping things, and beasts of the earth according to their kinds. And it was so. Let's get into that word for creeping things. The word creeping things is what? Why, which means and, a conjunction, remesh. This is what it's talking about. Not everything. It's not what it says. It's talking about something in particular that was food for us. This, whatever this creeping thing is, very interesting. Let's go back. I'm not going to go too much in that right now. I've addressed it before. But this creeping thing, so it should say, Kyle, every one of those creeping things that lives or has life, that has life, for you shall be food, just as the green herbs that I have given you. Why? Because the prophecy that Lamech spoke about his son Noah is now being fulfilled. Man was limited to just the herbs of the earth or the green food from the earth that they had to toil for. Now they are allowed to hunt game and have it as a substitution for sustenance alongside the herbs or the vegetation that Yah has initially gave man for his first dietary plan. This is the relief that Noah, or the rest that Noah has given to rest. one, from the wickedness in the earth at that time for being obedient and bringing his family in the ark and surviving the flood. And two, now because of that obedience, the Most High says, now I'm going to allow you to hunt. But just remember, animals will be suspicious of your behavior. So either they're going to fight and attack you or they're going to flee from you. They're not going to be as peaceful as they were on the ark with you. So this is the additional rest that he has given, and it goes into further that coincides with that scripture in Leviticus or Vayikra, where it says, but you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is its blood. So any flesh that has life and blood running through it, you can't just jump on cattle and start biting and eating it, okay? You cannot do that. And for your lifeblood, I require reckoning from every beast, I require it, and from man, from his fellow man, I require reckoning for the life of the man. So you cannot eat animals live. That must be slaughtered, right? And they must be done in an appropriate way. You cannot just eat them live. They have to be slaughtered in a particular way before you consume them, okay? And that animal must be cooked if it has blood in it, right? Now, this may contradict people who want to eat sushi and raw foods, right? However, this has to do with a particular thing because it says every beast. It's not referring to the fish in the sea. It's not referring to the fowl of the air. It's referring to the beast and the creeping things on the ground, right? The creeping things. That word remesh, that is what he gives you for food, the creeping thing, okay? That's important, all right? So that coincides with the scripture y'all gave earlier in Vayikra or Leviticus, all right? Let me see. What scripture was that in Leviticus? 17, 13, and 14. You must not eat the blood of any living thing because the life of every living thing is its blood. All who eat it will be cut off. You must slaughter and you must heat up the food so the blood is dissipated if it's a beast of the field or a creeping thing on the ground. That's the key thing, the creeping thing. All right? I do it. Yo. I'm just saying, there's savages out there. So anyway, Bet Us becoming omnivores has something to do with our population explosion. That as well, and being able to sustain, because you got to remember, agriculture takes a lot of time to yield. Now, you can eat wild variants of stuff, but if you're going to sow in the earth, sometimes that can take a lot of time. So therefore, animals have become a substitute or a complement to agriculturalists. And remember, at those times, they did not eat meat every day because a pastoralist, if he decided to eat meat every day, would not have no cattle, no flock, no sheep or goat to pasture over. Okay? His husbandry will be depleted as far as the role, and he will have no sustenance. Okay? So they did not eat meat every day. They ate it occasionally during the month. Festive times, they would eat it. If somebody came over as a guest, they would make it. All right, we see that festive wise in regards to the feast days. We see it as far as in regards to guests in the situation of Abraham in Genesis 18. We also see it at times with the prodigal son, where the son left and came back, a family member coming. You would eat meat. And then other times you would eat meat if it was advantageous to add additional protein to your diet, okay, to stay off or stave off muscular dystrophy. Okay. All right. Lab Judah, yeah, they are. They are. So anyway, with that, family, thank you for your time, because your time is valuable. Thank you for spending that time with me and with our KHM family. We appreciate it. I'm going to end off this live early. We covered a full garment of things on this show. I thought it was a great show. We gave up a lot of good information. Hopefully it has blessed somebody. And you can take this into your Shabbat with you. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you for all your support. Please share this video everywhere. If you have not hit that thumbs up button, hit the thumbs up button. Share this video on all social media platforms. Also, if you're interested in joining KHM, I'm going to post the link again in the chat. All right. And then I'm going to start adding the link to the description so you can just click the link and sign up. Okay. Here's a link in the chat. If you're interested in joining our Naturopath to Eden team, because you want to teach people about best health practices, You can email us at naturalpathtoeden@gmail.com. If you need assistance with your work in regards to your religious exemption form, I'm going to give you the link for that. That's actually in the description below, but I'm going to drop the link there. If anybody want to click on it real quick and sign up for that, I'm going to drop the link in the description below. Just give me 1 second. All right, there it is. And again, we produce real results offline. Real results offline. All right. And then if you're interested in getting those derogatory marks off your credit report, building your credit, and getting a financial plan to allow you to be more fiscally responsible, email us at jubileemanumission@gmail.com. We have other programs and services as well. So if you're interested in that, download the app that you see that's going across the screen. Sign up for the app. Check out what we have. And if you want to join KHM, click the link there in the description below and in the chat, and sign up and join our team so we can work together collectively so we can resolve the societal ills in our community and bring about these autonomous Goshens as we wait out the judgments and wait for our redemption to occur and be placed back into the land as being obedient servants and faithful stewards of what Yah has entrusted us in today, which is the culture He has given to us in order to provide, to protect, and produce. And remember, delight yourselves in Yah. Be soft, pliable clay in the master's hands by aligning your will with His will, by prostrating and submitting to His authority in your life, and seeing that the statutes, laws, and commandments, as according to Deuteronomy chapter 30, is not a difficult thing. It is not far off that you got to go seek it from heaven or seek it from the seas and the deep, but it's nigh, it is close to your heart. And that is what Yah wants. He wants a pliable heart that is repentant towards Him, that is loving towards Him, and that is submissive towards His will, being delicate in the master's hands, and that attracts Him to give you the desires of your heart, because nothing that you desire when you have that relationship with Yah is outside the scope of His will. So you can have something that you like, a hobby, an interest, and nothing that you desire will be outside the scope of His will and or violate the statute, the laws, and the commandments, because that dainty and delicate and pliable and soft nature you have towards Yah is so pleasing to Him that He be willing to bestow upon you the things that you like as a byproduct or benefit of that relationship. All right? All right. All right, family. Thank you for watching. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next live stream. And again, make sure you sign up for that Patreon, www.patreon.com/DivineProspect, and get access to this 24/7, 365 after party. We have tons of content, over 600 posts we have on it. And plus, we're getting more. I'm trying to hit almost 700 before the year's over, going into next year. And we want to double that and get 1,200 posts by the end of next year. I mean, we're going insane with the content we have on there because we want to grow it substantially so we can make a difference in our community. All right. Love you, family. Thank you for watching. I appreciate everything, and I appreciate all y'all. Peace and shalom.